Hello and welcome everybody. While I was on a project, I thought of doing this short video to explain about a process which I think is helpful for everybody. If you want to insert a plugin in Cubase, as you know, you go to insert section and go in there and you can see a list of plugins that you have with the subfolders. Sometimes it is quite annoying and a nuisance to find the plugin that you want. If you are like me, you must have collected a lot of plugins like this over the years, some of which you may even not use. So that's why it is difficult to select our plugins. So we need to organize our plugins to make our life easier. In this section, you can see that the default way of organizing the plugins under different folders. So if you just go and click on this little triangle, drop down menu will show that you can sort the plugins by the vendor or the different categories. Here it is under the categories. These are all EQs that I have, and dynamics, etc., etc. And you can also do that by the vendor as well, different manufacturers. Whatever your preference, your selection will be displayed in here. Now, as you can understand, it makes it even easier if we have our custom folders and custom way of selecting our plugins. For example, you can have a collection called favorite folder. Here I am adding a new collection. There you go. You press on that plus button and this will give this window, and let me put a name, HJ plugin. There it goes. That's my new collection. So you can just add whatever the plugins to that, and select them and drag and drop, and that will be displayed in there, just as easy as that. However, it will be even easier if we can categorize them and put them in separate folders. So let's see how we can do that. We'll go to EST plugin manager, and then let's get rid of these ones. Now we have an empty collection. So now we can add folders by pressing on the folder icon, and that's my EQs. So let's select some EQs. So we go back in there. So look for whatever the EQ that you want. For an example, here I'm looking for my Fab Filter EQ, one of my favorites. So there it is. So what I'm going to do is select it and drag and drop into that folder. So it will be shown under that EQ category. Let's look for another one. Frequency 2, which came with the Cubase 11. It's as good as, even I think better than Fab Filter now. I'm using it more and more. So there it is, frequency, and I'm going to drop that here. Oops, it came, so let me put it back into the folder. That's it. There you go. Now let's create another folder. This one is I'm going to use it for compressors. Okay, so where's that? Oops, it has gone into that folder as well. Let's pull it out. So it will be displayed as a separate category. That's more like it. Let's look for CLA 2A. There you go. And I'm going to use both mono and stereo in there. So now let's create more categories. I'm going to make another folder now. Let's name it as meters for metering plugins. And while we are here, let's make another folder for mastering plugins. There you go. Well, that's done. Now we have our own 4 categories. Let's fill them up with some plugins. I'm looking for IM Pusher, which I use in mastering most of the time. That will go there. And let's look for a metering plugin as well. I'm going to look for this exciting new metering plugin, which again came with the new Cubase 11. I find it really useful and I like it very much. You can see my custom collection here now, nicely categorized. If you go to EST plugin manager, so that will display my new collection called J plugins with all these categories and the plugins that I want under them. I find this quite useful, and it will reduce your workflow time quite significantly. Everything is nicely organized. You can select your custom collection or your default collection. You can do that in your insert section as well. And even here, you can go to that drop down arrow and select whichever the collection that you want then and there on your project window, which is quite useful. So that's the end of this short video. As I mentioned before, if you create your own custom collections of your plugins, it will definitely reduce your workflow. So thank you very much for joining, and if you like this, please don't forget to subscribe and share. Thank you.